What would you say if a cop acted friendly, looked you in the eye, and tricked you into confessing even when you did nothing wrong? It happens every single day, and innocent people talk themselves straight into charges. The scary part is the tricks sound normal until your own words get used against you. Hit subscribe right now because what I'm about to show you could save you from saying the one sentence that wrecks your case. Smash like now so you can find this again when you're stressed, scared, and your brain stops working. You're about to learn the 7 dirtiest tricks cops use to make you confess. The fake friend trick, the nervousness trick, the fake evidence trick, the help yourself trick, the silence trick, the repeat it back trick, and the just sign this trick. Most people have no idea how fast a normal stop turns into a confession trap. You think you're clearing things up, you think you're being honest, you think innocent people should just explain. That thinking gets people buried. I've analyzed over 200 body cam videos, and the pattern is brutal. The officer stays calm. The innocent person starts talking. Then the talking becomes guessing. The guessing becomes contradictions. And the contradictions become guilt on paper. Let me show you exactly how to shut that down before your own mouth becomes the strongest evidence against you. Here's why this matters so much. Cops are trained to get you talking. They know fear makes you ramble. They know silence feels weird to you. They know most people think only guilty people ask for lawyers. They also know innocent people are often easier to crack because innocent people think the truth alone will save them. That is the trap. Your truth can still sound messy when you're tired, scared, or confused. You can forget times. You can say things out of order. You can agree to something just to be nice. Here's the reality. They do not need a perfect confession. They just need enough words from you to build a story around. Once that happens, you are no longer explaining. You are defending yourself against your own statement. The first trick is when they act like your friend and tell you they just want to understand your side. This is the oldest move in the book. They smile. They lower their voice. They act relaxed. They say things like, just help me understand. Or, if you didn't do anything, now is your chance to clear this up. Then comes the bait. They want you to feel rude if you stay quiet. They want you to feel like silence makes you look guilty. That is exactly why your first line has to be short and cold in the best possible way. Here's exactly what you say. I am using my right to remain silent, and I want a lawyer. Word for word. Memorize that line. That sentence shuts down the fake friend trick and the help yourself trick at the same time. It works because it is clear, it is direct, and it leaves no wiggle room. Defense attorneys use this exact line in court because courts care about clarity. If you mumble, if you say maybe, if you say you think you should talk to someone, that is weak. You need clear words. Bad way. Most drivers say, I've got nothing to hide, so I'll explain. Then they start talking, guessing, and filling in gaps the police can use against them. Good way. Smart drivers say, I am using my right to remain silent, and I want a lawyer. Then the questioning hits a wall and the record stays clean. Watch what happens when you do this early. The officer loses the easy path. They can still stand there. They can still stare at you. They can still act disappointed. But now you have planted a flag. You are no longer in the casual chat zone. You are in the right zone. That matters because innocent people always think one more answer will fix it. Usually it does the opposite. This comes straight from Supreme Court rulings. Miranda versus Arizona is the big one. In plain English, that case says if police want to question you while you are in custody, you have the right to stay silent and ask for a lawyer. But here is the part many people miss. You have to actually use the right. The right does not jump out and save you by itself. You must say it out loud. This is 100% legal. Asking for a lawyer does not make you guilty. Staying silent does not make you guilty. It makes you smart. It makes you hard to trap. It keeps you from guessing under pressure. And guessing is poison when cops are looking for a confession. There is another reason this first line matters. It changes your mindset. You stop trying to be liked. You stop trying to sound innocent. You stop trying to win a roadside debate. You protect yourself instead. That one shift can save you from hours of damage. Have you ever felt that urge to explain everything when you were nervous? Drop a comment below because that is exactly where people lose. The second trick is even nastier because it hits innocent people hard. The officer says they already know what happened. They say your friend talked. They say a camera caught you. They say they found your prints. Sometimes they are telling the truth. Sometimes they are bluffing. Here's the trick they don't want you knowing. In many interrogations, police are allowed to lie to you about evidence. That means you cannot talk your way out of a fake pile of proof you cannot even see. So when they hit you with, we already know you did it, just tell us why, you do not argue facts. You do not try to beat their bluff. You do not say, that can't be true. You do not say, okay, I was there, but... That but kills people. Let me show you exactly what you say instead. I will not answer questions without my lawyer present. Those exact words, short, calm, final. This line works because fake evidence is built to make you panic. If you believe they already know everything, you start trying to explain little pieces, you admit one detail to fight a bigger lie, then that small admission becomes the brick they use to build the wall. Legal experts agree this is your strongest protection when police start bluffing because your silence stops you from negotiating against evidence you have not even seen. Bad way. Most drivers say, okay, I touched it, but that doesn't mean I did anything. Then they place themselves inside the story and the case gets stronger. Good way. Smart drivers say, I will not answer questions without my lawyer present. Then there is no new statement to twist, slice, or replay later. Here's the reality. Innocent people hate being accused. So when someone lies about proof, innocent people rush to fix the lie. That rush is exactly what the officer wants. Your job is not to correct every false thing you hear in that room or on that roadside. Your job is to stop making the situation worse. If there is real evidence, your lawyer will deal with it. If there is fake evidence, your lawyer will deal with that too. Your mouth is not your defense team. One more thing makes this trick dangerous. The officer may sound helpful. They may say, this is your chance. Or, judges like honesty. Or, I can tell the prosecutor you cooperated. Do not buy it. The officer is not your defense lawyer. The officer is trying to close a case. Former police officers have confirmed this works because the bluff is not about truth. It is about pressure. Berghuis versus Tompkins matters here too. In simple English, that case showed that just sitting there quietly is not always enough. If you want your silence rights respected, you should clearly say you are using them. That is why your line must be direct. Not maybe, not later, not after one more answer, right then. The third trick is the silence trap. This one is brutal because it feels so small. The officer asks a question. You answer, then they stare at you. They say nothing. They let the silence hang there. Your skin crawls. You think they want more, so you keep talking. You add details. You clarify. You dig your own hole because silence makes you uncomfortable. Listen closely because this is critical. Silence is one of their tools. It is not your job to fill it. Here's exactly what you say. I've said I want a lawyer. I'm not answering questions. Word for word. That is your line when they keep staring, repeating, or waiting you out. It works because it resets the boundary without starting a fight. You are not insulting anyone. You are not yelling. You are reminding them that the conversation is over. Bad way, most drivers say, what do you mean by that? I already told you everything. Then they keep talking, keep defending, and keep adding new facts. Good way. Smart drivers say, I've said I want a lawyer. I'm not answering questions. Then the silence stays their problem, not yours. Watch what happens when you stop feeding the quiet. The whole trick dies. The officer may change tone, they may get annoyed, they may lean in and act like you are making this harder. Good. Let them. Your goal is not to make the room feel comfortable. Your goal is to leave with as little damage as possible. This is where the repeat it back trick usually appears too. They ask the same question 3 different ways. First soft, then direct, then accusing. They are not confused. They are fishing for a different answer. If your first answer was shaky, they want a worse second answer. If your second answer is different by even a little, they treat that change like guilt. That is why your line matters so much. It does not change. It does not wobble. It does not grow. I've analyzed over 200 body cam videos, and repeated questioning destroys people who think they need to sound helpful. They keep trying to improve their answer. But every new version makes them look less certain. The officer does not need your answer to be false. The officer only needs your answers to be different. This comes straight from Supreme Court rulings too. Once you clearly ask for a lawyer during custodial questioning, the safe move is to stop talking. That is not drama. That is survival. It keeps you from being squeezed by silence, by repetition, and by pressure all at once. If you've made it this far, you're serious about protecting your rights. Show me by hitting that like button. The fourth trick is when they tell you they are trying to help you, but only if you admit something now. They say things like, this was just a mistake, right? Or, maybe it got out of hand. Or, if you didn't mean it, say that now. And this is called minimization. In normal words, they make the thing sound smaller, so you will finally agree to a piece of it. That little piece becomes the confession seed. Here's exactly what you say. I will not make any statement or sign anything without my lawyer. Memorize that line too. It blocks the minimization trick and the sign this now trick together. Because once the talking part fails, they may slide paper in front of you. They may say, just write your side. Or, just sign that we talked. Or, just confirm this part. No, do not sign, do not write, do not clean up their report for them. Bad way. Most drivers say, I didn't mean for it to happen like that. Then they just admitted the event happened, and now they are only arguing about intent. Good way. Smart drivers say, I will not make any statement or sign anything without my lawyer. Then there is no written confession, no helpful quote, and no cleaned up summary with your name on it. This is 100% legal. You do not have to sign your way into trouble. You do not have to cooperate by writing a statement. You do not have to rescue yourself with paperwork while stressed out and scared. If anything matters, it matters enough to wait for counsel. Here's the reality. Police love partial admissions because partial admissions sound believable. A full denial is clean. A partial admission is sticky. It lets them say, even the suspect admitted this much. That is why minimization is so dangerous. It feels like a path out, but it is really a path in. Former police officers have confirmed this works because the whole goal is to move you from no statement to any statement. Once they get you talking on paper, your case gets harder. And if they say signing is just routine, remember this. Routine for them can be ruin for you. Now let's pull the law together so you know why these lines work. Miranda versus Arizona says that when police question you in custody, you have the right to stay silent and ask for a lawyer. In plain English, you do not have to talk your way out. Berghuis versus Tompkins teaches a hard lesson. In plain English, silence by itself can be messy, so the safer move is to clearly say you are using your rights. Salinas versus Texas teaches another ugly lesson. In plain English, if you are not under arrest and you just freeze up without clearly using your rights, that silence may not protect you the way you think. That is why all the lines I gave you are clear, short, and direct. You are not playing word games. You are building a clean record. You are making it obvious that you are not waiving your rights, not chatting by accident, and not agreeing to help build the case against yourself. Now picture how this goes in real life. You get pulled over late at night. The officer says you fit the description of someone from a nearby incident. You panic because you know you did nothing. The officer starts friendly. Help me understand where you've been? Wrong move, you start talking. Then the officer says your story does not make sense. Then they say someone already named you. Then they go quiet and stare. Then they ask again. Then they say, maybe it was all just a misunderstanding and this is your chance to clear it up. Then they pull out a pen and say, write down your side. That is how 7 tricks stack on top of each other. Fake friend, help yourself, fake evidence, silence, repeat question, minimization. Sign here. Now here is the smart version. The officer starts with the friendly opener. You say, I am using my right to remain silent and I want a lawyer. The officer acts surprised and claims they already know what happened. You say, I will not answer questions without my lawyer present. The officer stares and waits. You say, I've said I want a lawyer. I'm not answering questions. The officer makes it sound small and asks you to write your side. You say, I will not make any statement or sign anything without my lawyer. That is it. No speeches, no debate, no guessing, no fixing fake evidence with real words. One version gives them material, the other version gives them nothing useful. That difference can change your whole life. Next video, I'm revealing what to say when cops claim they smell weed. Subscribe so you don't miss it because that one gets innocent drivers searched every single day. Lock this in before you go. If they act like your friend, you do not reward that with free answers. If they bluff about evidence, you do not argue with ghosts. If they use silence or repeat the question, you do not fill the air with panic. If they make it sound small or slide paper at you, you do not sign your way into trouble. Your power is not in sounding clever. Your power is in being clear, calm, and boring. Short lines beat long explanations. A lawyer beats a panic speech. Silence beats guessing every single time. Hit subscribe so you catch the weed smell video next week. Smash that like button if this just saved you from saying something you could never take back. And drop a comment telling me which trick shocked you the most. Stay safe out there.